Hi, and welcome to Try This at Home. We are a show designed to give you tools for transformation, tips to help your life run more smoothly. We're a public broadcast show, and we're filming locally. I'm here today with a special guest. His name is CPR Dave. You've probably seen his signs around. And this is a pretty important show today because we're going to talk about choking. Infant choking as well as adult choking, and we're going to offer some real tips so that you know what to do in the event that that happens. Hi, Dave.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. One of the most important things regarding choking basically is we want to do is prevent it. We know statistically the leading cause of obstruction, and we have to understand that coughing is not choking. That's basically the body trying to expel whatever the item is. Choking is a blocked airway where you can no longer get air in, and now you're in distress. And you're only going to have a few minutes before you become unconscious. So the more we understand how people choke, infants especially, the better we can prevent that. And one of the ways to prevent that, infants are curious people. They'd like to crawl around. They like to look for things, and they tend to always put things in their mouth. And on the table here, you'll see that I have several objects that are most commonly found that infants will choke on. And then I also have a choke tube. So if I can just quickly show you that I found this morning. Apparently, my wife must have purchased something and cut something off, and this fell on the floor. This would be something that they would be able to pick up and ingest.
This is a tag. I don't know if you can see
clothing.
It. Right. Would that cause choking in an infant?
Absolutely.
That
could
would
get caught in the airway.
Okay.
And remember, the size of an infant's esophagus or trach is very tiny. And sometimes as adults, we forget that. A little button that looks very colorful could look like a piece of candy. These are objects, coins, buttons, and these are watch batteries. And these are used in many different types of things now. Those are found. Paper clips, this is a guitar clip or a guitar pick. Again, more buttons. This is a device used in applying cable to the back of your cable. And this would be a device that you would fill up a balloon, like one of those soccer balls or basketballs, things like that. Now, what's interesting about this is just a normal controller for your TV. What do most parents give their children to entertain them? A controller. But you can easily pop the back off, and what do we have here? Batteries that slide right down. So if anything, this is called a choke tube, and this is actually designed to prove that anything that can fit in here can be swallowed by an infant or a child. And the leading cause of death, among infants to 6-year-olds is obstructed airway disease.
Huh.
Okay, so that's important.
So, Dave, where could we get like a choke tube? Like, is that something we could get just to know?
Very easy. A lot of daycare centers have them. You can go online.
Okay.
You can even go to, I think, eBay, and you can look up that, and you can find these. But basically, if you do your preventive, you get on your hands and knees when you have small children, and you survey the area, and you look for anything that might look appetizing to them, and you remove it. Like in the crack of this couch or chair, I want to put my hands in here. Here I'm going to find coins. Right. I'm going to find a Barbie doll shoe, things like that. If I remove the items out of the area, I'm not going to have the situation.
In my life, actually, I've had a situation where 2 children were choking. One was an infant and actually choked on a plant leaf.
There you
like
go.
Was crawling and took the plant leaf, and we had no idea like what was going on, but the infant was choking.
Right.
And another situation was a neighbor's kid came to the house and had a hard candy, and all of a sudden he just couldn't breathe. So, you could probably stumble on a kid in a supermarket who's choking on a hard candy. So
Right.
I think it's a really important.
Well, when you look at food items, you look at popcorn, you look at
Right.
The dough from a bagel, any of those things that will be like a plug that will cause and block the airway. So one of the most important things is when you're driving your child around in a car seat, never pacify them with food. You're never going to be able to stop that vehicle on one of the major highways, jump out, and remove that child from the car seat and perform what we're going to learn here today.
So Dave, like I know that you said you only have a few minutes. Do you know exactly, like, once airway becomes obstructed, like how much time really?
You're really going to have about maybe 2.5 to 3
Wow.
minutes before you can start to see signs of possibly a seizure.
Wow.
And if you do recover the infant or child, they don't always die, but they can become neurologically damaged. And we don't want to have that happen.
Right.
So if you see here today, we brought some infant mannequins, and this is one of the reasons why taking a CPR class is so valuable for anyone from the age of 13 and on up.
Right.
Because you can teach and show anyone with a stuffed animal, if you don't have a mannequin, or a child's doll, the same maneuver that we're going to learn today.
So maybe our folks at home can actually, I don't know if you want to take a second, and maybe you have a doll, maybe you have a stuffed animal, maybe you have something, maybe you just want to try this, because you don't know if you'll stumble across this in your lifetime.
Exactly.
All right, so good.
Okay, so you ready to try our demonstration?
Yes.
Okay, well, what happens is that the more we're educated, the better we can handle the situation,
Right.
the less stress we'll be under. So if we have an infant and it is choking, we have to do two things.
Okay.
One, infants don't have any muscle mass in their stomach area, so they're all organs. So
Okay.
at this point in time, what we would do is we'd actually put our leg out, and we're going to support the jaw like this. So
Okay.
you see how I'm supporting the jaw?
Yes.
And then we're going to put the baby. Now it's critical that what do babies have? Heavy heads, weak necks, right?
Right.
So we never want their heads to flop backwards, so we're going to keep the head in a neutral position.
Okay.
We're going to put the baby on a 45-degree angle. And the reason why I like doing this sitting down
Yeah.
is because they're squirming. And I don't want to drop them. And this is the only time we should actually give baby back slaps, okay? So we
Okay.
use the heel of our hand between the shoulder blades.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5?
And what you're doing is you're basically getting the item towards the front of the throat and
Okay.
hopefully out. Then what I would do if it didn't come out that time, notice I'm going to support the head.
Okay.
And now I'm going to roll the baby over to the other leg.
Okay.
And keeping the baby on a 45-degree
Okay.
angle. So we might have to just push that out about, there you go.
Sorry.
Try not to bang the baby's head on the, okay. 2 fingers below the nipple line.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we're doing
2
is
fingers.
thrusts. We're compressing the air out of the baby's diaphragm,
Okay.
forcing the object to the back of the throat, and we're going to continue to go back and forth and do this until the item comes out. It's 5 and 5.
Okay.
Okay, you might have to hit the baby a little harder if
Really?
you can't get it
If
out.
it's not working.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This usually gets the item out. Okay. If the item comes out and we find it's something like this that could be a paper clip or sharp, we're
Right.
going to always activate 911.
Okay.
We want to make sure that there's no laceration to the esophagus or any other the internal area where it could create internal bleeding. Okay. So
makes
what do you
sense.
think? Are these kids cute?
They are cute. This mine choked on a crayon. Look,
Really?
he's got.
Look at that. You know what I like about these
He's got
babies?
crayon all over
What do they look like?
Are these your twins? These are your twins,
I
Dave?
always, the little mini me. I always wanted to
Mini-me.
to have a little group of children.
How many do you have children?
Yeah, I do. They're 20, and they're in their 20s.
They're in their 20s.
Right. So,
Okay.
but this is such an exciting thing. Is that as soon as the baby becomes unconscious, of course, always activate 911, and it's always you call 911 and get a first aid kit. Do you understand? That's what I want people to say, shout out loud. And if the baby were to become unconscious, we're going to put the baby down, and we would start the steps of CPR, and that would be one of the reasons why you want to have a CPR certification.
Is there any way to tell if a baby's choking before it becomes unconscious?
Well, one of the things that you want to do is that if you were going to give food to a baby, only give enough for that baby and cut that food up. I can't tell you if it's grapes.
That's
think
what I
about
thought.
think about a
Grapes
grape.
are a big choking
The
one,
skin of a
right?
grape, the saliva. So therefore, you never want to go in with your fingers and pull something out. These are not good clasping tools.
Oh.
All right. If you go and take a marble and you put baby lotion on it or suntan
Right.
lotion, you squeeze it. Where's it going?
Right.
Right down. So what we do is, if we see the object, we flick it out. We always flick it out. That's what caused a lot of infants and children to die.
People
by
trying
forcing.
to grab.
Right, and then instinctively, that's what we think we should do, but that is not the best method. But by taking a course is what we really do learn and practice. It's skills and practice is what it takes.
So, do you know what the most common foods to choke on are?
Hot dogs,
That's what I thought, because
grapes.
people cut them in circles.
They need to cut them. They actually cut them and
Not in
slice everything.
circles, right?
Even as adults, I cut my food.
You do.
Kind of like a serial killer. Just because, people are like, wow, why is this guy cutting his food that much? Well, I know that I'm not going to choke on
Right.
it. I do tend to cut it a little bit more than that.
I heard, 'cause
string
the
cheese,
string and
broccoli
pizza.
rabe, gummy bears. If you give a child, how do children like to eat? Like little chipmunks, right?
Right.
They love to pile
Yeah,
things
yeah.
in their mouth, and they like to run around. Blow pops.
Oh.
They break off the stick, and now you have that little hard candy, like you said, and now it's stuck. And again, I have had an incident where an 11-year-old was in the mall, and the 8-year-old actually saved the 11-year-old. The 11-year-old flipped a quarter into her mouth. I have no idea why, but just actually started choking. The mother was pushing another baby in a stroller, and the 8-year-old just ran up, did the Heimlich, which we'll
Wow.
learn in the adult section, and was able to expel the item and save the child. So there are lots of saves. Now the other exciting.
Well,
Go ahead.
I want you to move your hat up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
I want to see your face. I want to talk about adult choking,
Okay.
because that is also a very real.
Very critical.
I saw it in a restaurant one time.
Yep.
And I'm not even sure, like, does everyone, in your experience, does everyone know that there's a universal sign that you can use to tell someone you're choking?
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm surprised on how many people don't realize the
Right.
universal sign. But naturally, as soon as you're obstructing and you're either in a restaurant, and we just finished the American Heart Association, which is the certification that I give, finished a huge study. And where do you think the most common place for choking would be, and what time of the day would it be? Do you have any idea what that might be?
I don't.
It would be happy hour.
Oh.
And the reason why is that because alcohol reduces the gag reflex ability, as well as you're eating bite-sized food and you're laughing and giggling with your friends.
Wow.
So more people choke during that time period than any other time. And if someone is choking partially, stay with them. Don't let them go into the restroom. The item could turn, and now we can't get it out. Okay? Universal sign for choking is? Exactly. I want to stand up, and I want to be, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. Now, you have to ask the person permission if they're choking. You have to say, are you choking? You can't just come up to someone and start thrusting them. That would technically be assault.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why being certified covers you under the Good Samaritan law, and that's significant.
Oh.
Okay? And, all right, so do you want to do a demonstration choking? You
Yes.
want to be my victim?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to stand up. You're gonna okay, so what you would be doing is you'd be
I'm at
displaying-
happy hour.
Okay, you're at happy hour. Okay, you're choking. Okay, so therefore, excuse me, ma'am, are you choking? Okay, what I would do is ask you to turn around. I'd put my leg between your legs, and just above your belly button, I'm not going to thrust you because we don't want you to vomit on this nice carpet.
Okay.
But right above your belly button, and I'm going to place my other hand over here, and I would thrust upward and inward. Upward and inward. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
All
I'm just
and
acting.
what that would do is that would force the air against an up and then shoot the item out. Now I'm going to tell you one other important thing.
I want to try it on you
Oh,
because
okay.
I don't
All
know
right.
if I
Go
got
ahead.
it. All right, so are you choking? Okay. So I stick my leg in between your leg, but look, I'm so little. All right, but I'm right here above your belly button.
Make a fist.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
And there.
Okay.
And tossed up in it.
Would I ever be able to dislodge you from choking?
I'm
Yes.
just tightening my abs. So
Okay, so I don't hurt you?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to
Okay.
tell you one really important thing, because
Thank
you
you.
said
Tell
that
me
you were involved with Lamaze and a lot of infants.
Correct.
What do we do if a pregnant mother is choking?
I don't know.
Okay, but pregnant
don't
moms
know,
choke.
Dave.
Okay, so here's the deal.
And they eat too.
Okay, so you're a pregnant mom.
Okay, I'm a pregnant
Here you go.
Pregnant
All ready
mom.
to have that
Breech
baby.
Sorry.
Okay,
I'm a
so
pregnant
show
mom.
me the universal sign of choking.
I can't. I'm
Okay.
holding my baby.
Okay, don't worry, it's not gonna come out.
Okay.
Okay, so what I would do is come up under the between your nipple. We might have to cut. and we would actually thrust. And then what this does is that
Oh, I'm
it
in
forces
labor.
the air from the diaphragm and forces